Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is really an honor to talk with you. Wanted to talk with you. You've had 5 seasons of experience with the characters that you play. What do you feel like you know about them now as you're heading into season 6 that you didn't know in season 1? How have you gotten to know these characters?
I think now I know less, you know? Because it's so confusing what's happening right now. This season is just a big mystery and confusion and dream that is unfolding in front of us. So I think now I'm more, I think I knew myself in the beginning. You know, I knew who I am. I knew what's important for me. I knew what I need to do. And then I'm taking on this journey, you know, and then I'm given responsibility. Okay, so far so good, you know. I still got the guy from the beginning inside. Everything's good, just now have to recalibrate to the responsibility, to the journey, to the thing. And now it's just gotten really confusing. What's happening? And the news that getting, what's going to happen. And betrayal is being mentioned. What are you talking about, betrayal? Who's gonna, one of us? How's that gonna, you know? And then seeing him turn in the table, what is happening? This violence, what is this? We haven't talked about violence. When was that mentioned? I can do the violence, you don't need to do the violence. You know what I mean? So I think it's all, now it's in a realm of really what is going on, you know?
I totally understand that. I agree too, because I think when you as a character are truly tested, when you're put out on a limb into the unknown and you are not comfortable with where you are, you really do start to almost unravel your own sense of identity because you've never been tested in that way. So you've never had to sort of answer that kind of call or that kind of challenge. And season 5 is the most. Like, we think we were challenged before. There's almost no boundary to the challenge in this season. And to a lot of us, we think it's not even possible that it could be as difficult as it's seeming, or that what Jesus is saying could even be true. So I think that has been really fascinating to play, watching these people that we have built for so long and then really putting them to the test.
Yeah, something I learned is that it can be really tough, especially in the context of the characters we're playing. It can be really tough not to understand something, but it's even tougher to understand it. And so that's something that that's the journey John goes on in season 5, and we see him wrestling with that. And this is the thing, if you know the Sons of Thunder well enough, when they wrestle with something, it's not always done in the most gracious manner. And so that is another thing of, you know, another layer to John that was fascinating to play in this season, despite this call to arms, this call to action of like, oh, this is where I need to be mature. It's just, again, fascinating to see that slip into, okay, keep your cool, John. And he's learning to control his emotions a little bit more. But yeah, eventually getting to that moment where he does become this disciple of love, but it's still gonna be a rocky journey to there.
So, obviously you've been with this journey. It's been an incredible one that I'm guessing you probably didn't realize was going to be quite as long as it has been, and as successful as it has been. How has The Chosen changed you personally, playing these characters?
You know, now that you say this, I'm like, it's genuinely the gratitude of meeting these human beings and having the fortune to meet and work with these human beings and having them in my life, that is the biggest change and the biggest thing that I'm personally grateful for. It's a beautiful group of people from on all sides, behind the camera, in front of the camera, creation. It's just a beautiful and inspiring group of people to have the fortune to call my colleagues and friends. And so for me, this is like just a beautiful gift to my life about being invited to this family and being part of it, you know?
It almost feels like doing a play in college or something like that, where you really, the goal is to just do the best job you can, and then you're like, wow, we're having so much fun, and it's midnight, and you're like, I guess we gotta go get pizza or something. It has that vibe of like, we're just trying to create in the moment. And it's not, sometimes it's like, okay, show up at set at 5:30 and then be ready to go in, and then we'll never talk to you again. And and it doesn't have that vibe at all. It really is like, okay, how are you doing this today? What do you need today? What do I need today? What do I need to do to help? And that's so, it's how it should feel. It's how the creative process should work, and we are so grateful to be a part of something like that.
That's an unusual thing for a set, isn't it?
Totally.
Life is short. To be able to create something with people that you love is a gift. You do it once in your life. It's amazing. You can, to do it for these amount of years, together. It's just a amazing thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so cool to be like kind of sitting here chatting with these guys, because we were on that first set doing The Miracle of the Fish. That was my first day on set, and they put me straight into the cold water, and that kind of baptism of fire, that vibe that we had of like, we're all there for each other, has remained on the show until now. So as much as the show has kind of changed our lives, the work hasn't changed, which I think we're all grateful for. And we still feel like we're just having fun on the set. It still feels like that small show that we kind of started 7 years ago.
6, yeah.
2018,
We're getting on there.
18. That's 7 now.
Yeah.
6.5. 6.5.
No, whenever it was pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
It was it's crazy long time ago.
Yeah, we were 16 when we started the show. So you know what I'm saying? You do the math.
There we go.
It's called impossible math.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.